Seema, congratulations. How does that feel?
Oh, relief. Yeah, no, really good. Listen, we've only had 2 days with the manager, so it's been tough. We've had 1 day on the grass with him because quite a lot of lads done recovery on Sunday as well. So to listen to his ideas, to listen to what he wants to do, he's given us a lot in meetings. So he's been trying to take it on board. But listen, tonight was about grit and graft and working hard for each other and showing that we believe in what we want to do with the manager now and obviously for the football club as well. So a huge win for us, massive win. It was a little bit nervy at times, like I just said there, but no, we got there in the end.
What's he actually managed to say to you in this short space of time that he's had? Because in terms of commitment and aggression and all those attributes, your team had that in abundance. That was the difference in a way.
Yeah, and that word was huge in what he brought the first couple of days, his aggression. He's getting up to the ball, he's getting contact on players on balls. It's as simple as that, to get as much contact as possible. And listen, the lads had a good go today, and I thought we played well in parts. We can play better, of course we can, but we've got a long time now to work with the manager, listen to his ideas and get better. But that today was huge for us. It was massive going forward, and it was important we won the game.
And in terms of the defending today as well, a committed display again from your side. But into the shots, I think West Ham scored with their 30th shot in the match. You had to face a lot of that. Is that a concern, or do you not care tonight?
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that, to be honest with you. That's not something I want to hear, so I'm a bit gutted you told me that. But yeah, listen, you've got to defend all kinds of games. You've got to defend, you've got to help your mates out, you've got to help the football club out. And listen, we've done that today. We've had 30 odd shots. That needs to change. It's as simple as that, because we can't carry on giving that many shots away. But we've got a fantastic keeper in Mads, and listen, the lads at the back have had a good game today. So like I said, the most important thing today for this football club was winning the game and winning it how we did.
And how much belief does it give you moving forward now? How much of a breath of fresh air can it be to everyone to push on now?
It's huge. And listen, when you win games, it breeds confidence. And I mentioned before about being quite nervy at times in the first half. I think you could feel it, and what then happens is the nervousness goes into the crowd, and the crowd feel it as well. Of course they do. Listen, we're all human beings. We're the exact same. So we've got to put that to bed. We've got to try and get that to a side. But in the situation we find ourselves in, it's quite natural. I've been there before a few years ago, and it's quite natural that it comes. So we need to get that out. But yeah, it's a breath of fresh air. The manager's been fantastic. So it's important now we get back to it, we recover right, and we've got another big game on Sunday.
Enjoy it. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
I think one thing they will do is enjoy this victory. As Conor Coady just said there, the manager asked them to show aggression. The belief seems to be back in the camp. It's incredible, Clinton, what a change of voice can do to a dressing room.
Yeah, it happens many times. You see it when a new manager comes in, you get that bounce. It's a different voice, different ideas. It is a very, very good footballer that's come into their football club. So if you don't want to respect Ruud van Nistelrooy when he comes in as a group of players, then you shouldn't really be playing the game. And they did respect him. As Conor Coady said, there's a lot of meetings, and it was a quick turnover from the weekend, a really quick turnover. But whatever he said to them, he's definitely got a response. So fair play to him. And I said, you can't argue with it. They were fantastic. Yeah, he said there, Conor, he didn't like the amount of goal attempts West Ham had, but they had to defend, and they did defend for their lives.
And the main thing is they got the 3 points in the end, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, that means so much to Ruud, to the player. Conor's barely been in the side, and to be fair, he's the type of guy you need in a difficult situation, because he's very vocal. He's a great communicator, super captain. So not surprised to see him back in the side. Ruud's played with guys like that are super important in dressing when you're down. So credit Ruud for acknowledging that, putting Vestergaard and Conor Coady back in. And at the top of the pitch, if they can keep the goals out, I think they conceded the second most so far this season. Today, only the one late. They'll score goals because they've got a lot of good attacking players in that side as well. So I think Ruud will be beyond delighted. That's a good West Ham team. I know they're not playing well right now, but they've got a lot of good players, and today they beat them comfortably.
And you talk about their good attacking players. Of course, Jamie Vardy, the man that leads the line for them and got them off the mark in 1 minute and 38 seconds. The perfect start for Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, it's a good goal as well. You can see the 1 and 2 touch they're playing here. It's a brilliant little
football,
ball.
Isn't it?
It is good football. And then once he gets into that, Jamie Vardy, don't worry about the offside flag. Just put the ball in the back of the net. It's a really composed finish. He's ice cool in there, Seema, because when you're running at such pace like that, the best thing to do that he does, and he's done it for years, is slow himself down. And Fabianski gives him that side, and he puts it in. It's a brilliant finish.
What about Alcan, who's 20 years old, playing in central midfield, scored an absolute belter and played that perfect ball for Vardy. And when you release Vardy into space like that, he knows where the ball's going to end up. Times his run perfectly. And he's just a machine. 37 years old, still doing the business. That's amazing.
Yeah, that actually was his 100th goal involvement, 73 goals and 27 assists at the King Power Stadium. So a nice little milestone for him. He's doing incredibly well, considering his age as well, because it's not easy to play at this level, Clinton.
No, it's not easy, but he looks after himself. They give him the days off. He gets his treatment and he's back. And listen, Jamie Vardy might not see him in a game, but the one thing he does, when you do see him, he'll put the ball in the back of the net. He's not worried about having touches outside the box. All he's judged on is the number 9 putting the ball in the net, and that's what he's doing.
Well, Owen, you mentioned El Khanousi scored as well today, his first Premier League goal for Leicester.
Yeah, ball player. He's a player. I love seeing these young guys come through. 20 years old. You know, he's just a player. Really nice. Bonanotta's terrific. He's their best player. What a ball from Bonanotta that is, really. And it was nice to see all these players running forward, being positive. That's a great goal. It really is. I mean, again, a little bit in transition, turn it over. Can you break? West Ham, not sure. Are we going to play offside? That ball from Bonanotta is so good. Realise he's got to put a bit of height on it, a bit of spin. Straight into the path. And El Khanousi, only a young man, he just sits, he just drops off a little bit and just waits. Absolute great goal. That's the blueprint for Leicester City. That.
Yeah.
Turn it over, counter-attack, and finish it off.
And they've shown us today exactly what they can do. There was also Patson Daka, who came off the bench. He scored his first goal since February. Nice goal.
This is brilliant goal. Listen, he's been injured. That's why he's scored since February, and they have missed him, to take the word. The touch is fantastic. Does Kilman with the first touch. And this shimmy, this is brilliant. Owen loved that. See you later, Kilman. Thanks for coming, and what a finish. But this touch makes it. Because it's a race then, and that Patson Daka's quick. Yeah. But it's the shimmy here where he says, Kilman thinks he's going to come on his right foot. He said, no chance of my coming back on my right foot. I can finish with my left. It's a brilliant goal, isn't it, Owen?
Watch this little shimmy. He just steps to the right, just puts him off balance. He steps back, Kilman. I mean, that is an amazing goal. The first touch, the little shimmy, and the finish in the roof of the net. That is dream stuff. Even Ruud, not even Ruud was doing that, I don't think.
He was 6-yard box, Ruud, innit? Yeah.
Impressive, very impressive stuff. Now, I wonder, the win was important, the 3 points, where it puts them in the table, but does it take the gloss off it slightly that they conceded?
Yeah, full crew comes on and scores. Yeah, they'll be disappointed because I think a clean sheet breeds confidence. Do they care at the end of it? No, because it's all about getting the 3 points, and especially from a set piece. But good little touch, and this will be good for him because I think West Ham have missed him, and it's a good header. We've seen before at Dortmund he can score goals, and it's a good poacher's goal in there. But they'll be disappointed. You can't give someone of his calibre a free header.
Probably lucky they only conceded one when they considered West Ham at 31 shots.
31 shots, wow. The most that has been registered for them in Premier League history. They'll be so disappointed to have not walked away with more. Yeah,
they've got to be more clinical. They're missing too many chances. You can't create that much chances and not come away with anything. So, they'll be really disappointed.
As for Ruud van Nistelrooy, I guess his job now is to harness this, bottle this feeling and now build on it for the coming games.
Well, that's the plan. I mean, it helps when you're winning, and it helps when your manager's smiling and all the players are smiling. Obviously, the atmosphere at the stadium was amazing. So you're right, he's got to bottle that, but winning helps, makes the training a little bit easier. You can have a bit more fun. But obviously the fixtures coming up, what they got, the Brighton, Newcastle, Wolves, they don't have some easy ones. Liverpool, Man City around there. So obviously they're going to have to find a way to get some points.
There was a disallowed goal for West Ham. Will they be disappointed with this, Clinton?
No, I can see Don getting frustrated in commentary, but for me, I think listen, I'm an attacking player. I'd be disappointed. But the letter of the law is they get overprotected goalkeepers. But you can see Souček. He just makes a rod for him. He leans once he looks at him and leans at him. That was always going to be given. I think if it's an on-field stayed, Owen, do you think maybe then the goal would have been allowed?
Yeah, I think if he looks at the ball the whole time,
yes,
they wouldn't have given a foul. But I think because he's looking for him and he's like, where are you? I'm going to come bump into you. Then I think it makes it a little bit easier for the ref. I don't disagree with Don. It's a little bit soft. But once he's like kind of reversing into him and bumping him, Harrison makes a bit of a mess of it. But I do think he's not trying to play the ball. So it's a foul. I mean, it's a soft foul. But it impacts Hermanson kind of trying to punch it. I mean, it's a really bad punch, not going to lie. But
disallowed on field was never going to be overturned.
No, and I think Clinton made a good point. If they would have let it go, they probably would have stayed. But because they disallowed it straight away, they weren't going to overturn it.
After this defeat and having lost to Arsenal 5-2, just how much pressure is the manager Lopetegui under now?
No, he's under big pressure. Listen, I think if he had lost to Newcastle and Arsenal, I don't think he would have been in the job. They got a great result against Newcastle. Why are you not playing your best team when you're going to Leicester? Because you know what? In his head, he's thinking, we got a game on the weekend. It's the here and now. Don't worry about the games you got coming up, because the games they've got coming up are winnable. You go to Leicester and everyone thinks West Ham will go beat Leicester. Don't make changes. Play your best team. You can't leave the likes of Paquetá, Antonio, even Emerson on the bench. You've got to start those players. So he'll be under pressure. If they lose the next game, he could be gone.
5 changes is actually the most he's made this season. Well, now's a good time to hear from the man. Let's hear from Julen Lopetegui.
What is your main feeling after that?
My feeling today is the frustration because we lost, and the frustration because I think we deserve much more. I think that we have 31 shots. It's incredible, but it's football. Sometimes playing football is not easy. The first time that they scored, maybe he has been key this first goal, but after I think that we did a very, very good first half. We have a lot of chances in the different options, but there are days that the ball doesn't want to go to the goal. So we have to accept this is hard for the boys above all because they deserve much more today. For our fans, it's a hard day for us. It's true that I think that we did all that one thing have to do, but sometimes happen. The second half. After the second goal, it was true that after the 25 minutes, I think that we start losing a little bit the composure, because for sure, when you are losing the match, sometimes you don't choose well, and they scored the second goal. It has been key, but until then, I had the feeling that we can draw the match. We have a lot of chances again, but we didn't score, and we risked a lot in the last minutes, and they scored the first goal. I was close.
Even though you had 31 attempts, were there concerns about the 3 that you've conceded at the other end?
But you have to analyze in the other ways. The first goal was, for me, was key. The second and third was one consequence about that. The minutes and the moment when you take a risk and you have more space. But I think that for me the problem has been that we didn't score in a lot of and many chances that we have to do. It's going to be very, very different if you score, but okay, this is other history. Today we lost. We are very frustrated, but in the same way, I think that I can say nothing today to the behavior of the players. They fight until the end. They did a lot of things to score in many ways. So okay, there are days it's not easy to explain football sometimes. Today is one of these days. So sometimes I think that if we had this kind of behavior, for sure that they are going to come a lot of wins.
So he has praise for his players, but look at the shots again. It's the highlight of that whole stats list, but not so much for West Ham because 31 shots with only 1 goal. You'd expect a lot more from them.
Seema, you know what that tells you? Stats lie. Sometimes stats lie.
Yeah.
And that basically sums it up. West Ham weren't very good today. I know the stats say they had a lot of shots and, the XG, which I never understand anyway. But Leicester were by far the better team. Whatever the stats say. 6 shots on target, but they look like they could have scored more. I know they were very efficient in front of goal, but if you look at all the goals West Ham conceded, they're all identical. They're trying to play offside. They're a little bit too high. There's space to run into. Everybody knows Leicester are going to play on the counter-attack. So why are you really high? Just drop a little bit deeper. Yep. So I think for the manager, it's easy to hide behind stats. We had 31 shots. You weren't very good. Fact.
So the manager has a lot to address then in the coming weeks because they've got some big games coming up, including a game against Wolves, which will be hugely important.
Yeah, it'll be a massive game for them. They're in a relegation at the moment. Make no bones about it. I don't think West Ham will be in a relegation come the end of the season. But they're not out of it. If you think Leicester are on 13 points, they're on 15 points. Yeah, they're within touching distance. And he's under big pressure, the manager. He was brought in to change the style of play and get results. But they're no better off than they were when David Moyes was in charge.
And you can't say that he doesn't have...
They're a lot worse, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're a lot worse. So it's not the attractive football that everyone thought. And listen, and when you're under pressure, I say it time and time. Seems play your best players. You're not a team that are top of the table like Liverpool that can rotate their players. Your team's not good enough. It's not getting results. That's where the pressure starts mounting with him. But you see the next 6 fixtures. Wow, there's some big football matches.
Well, forget the last 2. I mean,
it's the Wolves.
They could win 4 on the bounce, and then it'd be mid-table or, so they could be 8th or something like that. But obviously, Liverpool and City they'll probably lose. But They could beat Wolves and Bournemouth and Brighton and Town easy. You've got so many good players.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He
Julen
has
makes
the
a great
personnel.
point. Paqueta, why is he on the bench? Just play him against a team like.
Was it just a case of rotation because of the games in quick succession?
Seema, you can't. You rotate when you're under pressure. Yeah. You rotate yourself out of a job.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Owen's right. You can't rotate when you're under pressure. You end up losing your job. Would it surprise you tomorrow morning if you hear that he's lost his job? No. Wouldn't surprise you.
And also the fact that Ruud's come in and we've seen that bounce and that reaction from Leicester, it might get the managers and the clubs at the bottom of the table potentially at risk, and those clubs rethinking their managerial positions.
There's that knock-on effect, isn't there?
Yeah, it is a knock-on.
You see it work and think,
it might work for us.
Is the grass greener?
Yeah. Well, that was a great game, actually. We really, really enjoyed that one. Leicester City off to a great start under Ruud van Nistelrooy.
For you?
Of course, in the end, you look at the result, and the 3 points in the position that we are in are vital. Also, with the other fixtures of this playing round, we knew it was a big one for us. The result was that mattered. Of course, I have also seen the game, and West Ham was dominant, had so many chances, so many shots, but I think our fighting spirit, our togetherness got us through the game, and we were very effective in scoring ourselves. So a great night in the end.
Do you realistically look at the 31 chances conceded and have concerns?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have to look at that, and there's something to work on. That's a fact. But I said before the game, the spirit of this team and the energy, and every player doing everything they can off the ball, and from there on we look and we build. I've seen that. I've seen the reactions. I've seen energy on that pitch together. Every single one, players that came on as well, and there was a reaction with the crowd, because the crowd see that the players are putting these performances in for the club and the badge, and then you can build and create something, and that's the start today.
Being ruthless with your chances, though, how important was that?
That was vital. Of course, if you have less possession than the opponent, we created some chances from defending in a compact block with putting winning the ball and counter-attacks with players that make the runs in behind. We had that with McAteer, we had that with Daka with the goal, with Jamie scoring the first one with a deep run, and I think El Kanouja today as well with an assist and a goal had a wonderful performance.
You're realistic enough to know that when you get a job, it's because a team haven't been playing well. So I guess there are pluses and negatives from today's game for you to work on.
Fantastic. We know the level in the Premiership, and we know that every game we play is going to have to be, everything has to be right, and that's why the training pitch is so important, to train, to develop our defending together and placing counter-attacks, also our possession. Of course, we need our possession to improve, to get some more stability into the game. So lots of things to work on, but very happy with, of course, the 3 points.
Plenty to work on, lots to reflect on, but he did say that togetherness got them through the game, and we saw that cohesion amongst the team today. Yeah,
I mean, he must have given a good team talk, for sure. But I'll be honest, I was never a big fan of the manager like having to give you like a cheerleader pep talk. It's on the players. They're the ones that got to go out and run around and tackle and be aggressive. And when you get the ball, express yourself. And I just thought Leicester City did that today in abundance. They defended really well. They were compact, and then they hit them on the break. So I think the game plan was spot on.
Which managers gave the best team talk for you?
Well, no, we didn't get many team talk. We just got shouted at.
It wasn't talking, it was shouting.
We got shouted at a lot. But to be fair, when you win, you don't get shouted at.
No.
But if you're not doing your job, you're going to... Sometimes it's not even shouting, Seema. They just look at you like, don't do that again.
Enough.
Yeah, it's enough. And then you got to know...
He played for United. Yeah. They did not get shouted at. They won most of their games.
Some people got shouted.
Some people didn't. Not Owen Hargreaves. If you watch football, he would have got shouted at. He was too silky.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I got shouted at loads of times. I won't tell you managers.
Well, look, he's delivered. I mean, it's brilliant that he got off to a good start, but now he's got some big games coming up, and he has to recreate and develop this form and make sure he can continue it, really.
Yeah, they got another big game on the weekend. You see that. He just probably wants more time with them on the training pitch to implement his style of things. But yeah, they only had a few days to work with him. But as I said, what I've seen with the pictures of Ruud van Nistelrooy, he impresses me. He comes out, he speaks ever so well. He'll be happy with the amount of chances they gave up to West Ham. He knows on another day, if they give them chances, if you go to Brighton and give them chances to Brighton, they'll punish you. So he actually knows that. There's a lot to work with, but it's all about getting the points. It's all about getting the 3 points. Leicester fans go home happy. That's all you can do for your manager in your first game.
So he impressed you.
Where do you think Leicester City and West Ham end up in the Premier League table? Let's talk about Leicester City Football Club. Leicester City Football Club won the Premier League title in the infamous 2015-2016 season with Claudio Ranieri at the helm. They also won the FA Cup in 2021 and FA Community Shield twice in 1971 and 2021. 2022-2024 was not a good season for Leicester as they were relegated to the Championship. The club appointed Enzo Maresca as the new manager. He leads the team to Premier League promotion, finishing champions in the first try. Leicester was managed by Steve Cooper until November 2024 when he was sacked with the club just 1 point from the relegation zone. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Manchester United legend and previous assistant coach, was appointed to manage the team. The appointment of the new manager could reap a bounce in their performance going forward. The fact that all the newly promoted clubs get relegated back last season provides some caution to Leicester City. Opta Analytics predicted Leicester to get relegated again in the 18th position. What do you think? We are of the opinion that with the new manager bounce that Van Nistelrooy could bring and the quality of the players, they should be safe from the bottom 3. Let's talk about West Ham Football Club. West Ham United Football Club are a mainstay in the Premier League since coming back from one-season relegation in the 2011-2012 season. They are winners of the FA Cup 3 times, 1964, 1975 and 1980, and won European Cup Winners' Cup in 1965. Last season West Ham finished 14th in the Premier League table under the management of David Moyes. Moyes' contract was not renewed and Julen Lopetegui was named as his successor for this season. West Ham is currently on the 14th position, same as last season, although there are nearly 2/3 of games left to play in the season. Opta Analytics predict him to finish in the same position, and we also agree they are likely to finish around that position.